that the coup leaders in Niger have snubbed both ECOWAS and other groups that have tried to intervene. And where is that standby force that ECOWAS is talking about? Do you see a contradiction here? Do we really have a standby force that ECOWAS can immediately deploy, as Dr. Toure said?
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the honor given to me to put in my own thoughts about the whole thing. First and foremost, just like you rightly pointed out, the release appears to be a little bit contradictory. If you listen to the opening address of Mr. President, he's virtually putting more weight on the issue of diplomacy. And at the end of the day, I think when they went into a private session, and that's where this communique came out from. And if you listen to the Ivorian president, you could see obviously that he was not addressing us, because he was saying that the war is not between Nigeria and Niger, but it was a decision of ECOWAS. And if you listen to him carefully, he will tell you that the Ivorian position was what has been sold to the leaders of ECOWAS. And you know exactly where Ouattara or the Ivorian president is coming from. If you look at the history of ECOMAC, you could see there has never been a situation where they have been around us or around ECOMAC. Maybe because when we are going to Liberia, they thought Liberia being a British colony, I mean not a French colony, so they don't really care. But the basic issue is one has to be extremely careful with these sit-tight leaders. Because obviously the coup is not only the idea of military taking over government. A coup is actually where people extend their limit beyond what constitutionally is being provided for. That one is also a coup. When you rig yourself into an election, it's also a coup. So basically the problem with these leaders is I am right, everybody else is wrong. Because one has to look seriously into the kind of thing that this guy is here. And my fears are that we shouldn't allow these people to take us into another proxy war. Proxy war in the sense is that...
Well, that is the former Nigerian ambassador to Indonesia, Ibrahim Mai Sule. We can hear his voice, the way he has explained the issue between the Niger coup juntas and the ECOWAS stand. Now, he has made it clear that when you say coup, that coup is not only when the military government takes, when the military takes over a government. That, you know, when you got into power through rigging, when you rig yourself into power, is also a coup. And you know, when listening to him, I understand. I recalled what Peter Obi said after the election when he was being interviewed. He said that you are going to be addressed as His Excellency, and if the process that brought you to the office is not an excellence, you should not be called an excellency, His Excellency. Now, listening to Mr. Ibrahim Sule, you know, make his analysis, and now understand that the problem of Africans, especially Africans, is the problem of you know, illegality, especially when it comes to election. You know, most of them rig their way to the top to be where they are today. And that is why you see that sometimes these people who claim to fight corruption, fight this, do this, at the end of the day can't get it done because of the way they get into office, because they have to satisfy men and women who have accessed them to get into that place of authority. Now, he also mentioned, to me, when I looked at the issue of, you know, the Niger coup, the African leaders, fine, they are trying to make sure that democracy reign in our region. Presently, Africa is the only continent where you have military ruling. But the issue is they are not looking into why military is toppling their government. They are not looking at that. And one of the reasons why the military are toppling government is because of the failure of the democratic elected leaders who are supposed to be leaders by example, who are supposed to manage the affairs of the country credibly. But unfortunately, reverse is the case. Unfortunately, reverse is the case. Niger now has made it the fourth African, African countries that have been, that is being ruled by military. And when you look at the Niger issue, the military junta took over the government, they toppled the government, and the Nigerians are rejoicing, celebrating, and jubilating, and supporting the military government that have the military that have toppled their government. That shows you that there is a problem in the land. What ECOWAS, as far as I'm concerned, should be interested in is what is the root cause of these people? Why is it that the military are now toppling government in our region? What is the root cause? Because some of the time you can't do this by force. You can't do this by force. So if the ECOWAS, the African leaders can identify the reason why the military are taking over and tackle those issues from the root, I want to believe that every other country should go and relax because there will not be any chance, any cause for the military to topple government. That is just it. Now the Nigerians, the Niger Coup juntas has given their reason why they topple the government. They give the reason based on the economy, situation, insecurity, and all that. But if the government has been doing well, I don't think this will have happened. Because what the military do is that they take advantage of the failure of the government to topple government. That is just the truth. And now look at what is happening in Niger. The Nigerians are supporting the military 100%. And they are ready to fight anyone who is against the military taking over. Look at what they did to France embassy. No, even our own president Bola Tinubu, they posted a poster and they wrote on it Ebola Tinubu, and they were insulting our president. Now, if you listen to the statement that the ambassador has made, you discover that like he said, coup does not solely refer to as a military taking over power. In an interview with Arise TV, he said coup is when president manipulate electoral process to secure their position. It can also be considered as a coup. And the truth is, we know what happened in Nigeria and elsewhere in Africa. Most of the people who are in power today, did they really deserve it? Did they really get there by merit? Did they really vote them in? So they know the root cause. They know most of the reason why these things are happening. And that is why they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure they use military and all that to threaten UJ and all that to make sure that the military never don't take over a democratic elected government. But if a democratic elected government is not the process that brought the president to power is corrupt, it means that election also is when election is fraud, you can say it as a coup also, according to the way the former ambassador to Nigerian ambassador to Indonesia, Ibrahim Mai Sule, has actually analyzed it, and you see where they sit, they exercise their monopoly of wisdom. They know it all. When they say things, it stands. They don't listen to advice. They go on to do things. And concerning our relationship, Nigeria relationship with Niger, the government has cut off the electricity from Niger. And he referred to that. Cutting off the electricity from Niger is a breach of contract. This thing has been signed long before now. The dam that Nigeria had that is giving us light, Nigerians cannot build their own, because if they try to do that, they are going to Nigeria dam is going to suffer from having water. Now we are cutting them off. It means that the Nigerians can decide to build their dam so that this kind of occurrence cannot happen again. See, I think this desire more of wisdom and handle this situation than what it is right now. Well, thank you for tuning in. I want you to feel free to comment below. Let us know what your take concerning this, and also subscribe to our channel. Thank you.